Oh, and the other thing I was watching was a little short YouTube documentary on the push for Lex Luger.
Okay.
After Hulk Hogan left to WCW.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
The Lex Express.
Yeah. Everything about it, you're like, you should have known. This was not.
Well, and there was the famous Bruce Pritchard talks about. There was like they did like a vignette in Lex's home, and it took him like 6 hours to do a like 30-second.
Oh.
Like what? And that's what actually killed him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Bruce said it was like that's the moment it died because it was like Hulk Hogan. They said like Hulk was like Jay-Z. You just one took.
Right.
The whole thing. Yeah. It was crazy to see how much Kennedy balled. It is funny to like knowing enough about Hulk Hogan and his life. It is funny to watch like a very dishonest representation of who Hulk Hogan was presented to my girlfriend. And watching her be emotional about his life. And I'm like, oh, he's lying about a lot of this. Like, don't listen to Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is a tremendous liar. But yeah, she bawled. She loved all the, because Hulk, it is funny, and it's funny that she pushed back on this, but I've always thought it was very funny that Hulk Hogan's ex-wife, Linda Hogan, is still named Linda Hogan.
Yeah.
Because his real name's Terry Bollea.
So Hogan's a fake name, yeah.
She kept his fake name. Doesn't that tell you everything sort of about a woman's intention in marriage to some degree?
Yeah.
Is that like she gets divorced and she's still like, yeah, but I'm the wife of Hulkamania. I just wanted that to be very clear, the whatever. But like the end of the doc is like Hulk looking back at that time on his life, like very fondly and stuff. It was funny that like she got, because like chicks all respond to like when you watch something, and like the guy becomes bad, there's a tension when you're a boyfriend or a partner to a female when the male subject of a movie or documentary starts being shitty. That to some degree now everything that he's doing, now you come into question. Yeah. For like Hulk Hogan's behavior, you know what I mean? Whatever. So she's like, at one point, she's like, "Oh, I hope that you never do this." And I'm like, "Turn heel? Like, what do you mean? I'm gonna become Hollywood Rob and then start."
Arguably, anyone who was a good boyfriend and he's turning heel.
You're turning heel. Yeah. That is how we should start discussing breakups. Is in terms of heels and babyface.
You made a heel turn.
Yeah, my last relationship, I started a heel, and then I made a babyface turn halfway. We did a Bret and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13.
A double.
Where, I was like, I wouldn't tap out, and that somehow eventually made me the good guy. And then Bret was just like a whiny fucking whatever. That actually describes it pretty well. So... Anyways, welcome to Rob Loves Arguing. Hulk Hogan wasn't supposed to be.
This podcast, we talked about it for weeks before. We said this one is going to be on Linda Hogan.
Yeah, we got to do an entire Linda Hogan.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it's got what a pressury lifestyle for his kids, and Nick is obviously like a total piece of shit. Have you watched the documentary?
Yeah, I watched all four.
They just don't even handle the fact that Nick is a murderer, fucking scumbag.
Well, they avoid a lot of the people that are peripheral. They really dance right past to the fact. They talk about it, the Gawker thing, but it's more about Gawker. They dance right past the fact that Bubba the Love Sponge is cuckold who wanted to watch it happen and stuff. I guess they don't want to spend too much time. I kind of get that. Then, there's the Nick stuff. They dance right past that, and they talk about how he dealt with it at the time or whatever.
And then how he's looking up to his father.
They, again, dance right past... the one they didn't even address. Like, they talk about Hogan and his infidelity a bit and stuff like that. But the fact that Linda Hogan also slept with her son's best friend or something like that.
They do cover that. They
do
get in.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They briefly mention it because then there's a scene where like Hulk's driving around in the bay in Tampa and like looking at his mansion where his wife's getting plowed out by his son's friend.
Okay.
And they would like wave to it, like they were being antagonistic. To whatever, which like that sucks so much because you remember the Mike Tyson one man show documentary?
Yeah.
So there's a scene in that's always I find to be very funny, and Mike Tyson was very, I think, like of all the celebrities that people say were wrongfully accused of like
crime, he was wrongfully
Mike Tyson is the example that black people should use of like Emmett Till. Like Emmett Till should be Mike Tyson now.
Or Mike Tyson is the Emmett Till of the 90s.
90s, yeah. Where, by the way, I just realized this, that Courtney Love is the Erica Kirk of the 90s.
Depends
like
on
a widow
what you feel.
that everymean hates.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like that everyone blames for the death and whatever. She's got a real Erica Kirk needs a grunge band.
Yeah.
She is even doing the whole thing where she's now taking on the mantle of Charlie Kirk and stuff. She really is full Courtney Love. Yeah.
If you think about it, she is doing the grunge band version because that makes you saying she should have a grunge band makes sense because what's his name? Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
He was in a grunge band, so it makes sense to open her. Charlie Kirk was in weird pseudo politics.
Yeah.
So she should be in weird pseudo politics,
and that's what she's doing. And then now she has to fuck a few other important. Like now she's gonna have to go bang Ben Shapiro.
Who do you think is a reasonable, like, if she came out a year from now and is like, she's dating this person?
Fuentes.
No, you think that's got to be too far. He's younger too, right?
Like, yeah, but like it has to be younger, definitely. And like, because it would have to be, because Billy Corgan was like, she went to Courtney Love went to Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, okay.
After Kurt, I'm pretty sure. Because the second album, if you listen to the whole albums, the first album very much obviously lived through this, sounds just like a Nirvana album. Mm-hmm. And then Celebrity Skin, I think, is the second album. It has Celebrity Skin on it. I could have wrong. And Malibu. Those sound way more Smashing Pumpkins-y. She even does the like, she does like, she's doing Billy. Like, she like holds like syllables long and stuff. How Billy Corgan does in songs.
Well, no, but I believe you.
Yeah. You know literally nothing about it, but take my word for it.
I've seen him in more interviews on Rogan than listen to his music.
Sure. Billy Corgan, big wrestling guy. He owns the NWA.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Which means almost nothing now.
Yeah. That's like owning Blockbuster.
And the tape libraries all belong to, but like he gets to put on
shows if he wants to.
Champion, and that's the best use. Billy Corgan and Macaulay Culkin, I feel like, are the celebrities using their celebrity the best
for nostalgia, frivolity,
just your own fun.
You know what I mean?
Like what? Like Macaulay Culkin truly is the greatest example of a celebrity.
What does he do with his money besides
not
fuck
a lot?
Brenda song?
You know, like he was in the Pizza Underground for a while, which was a Velvet Underground cover band that would change all the lyrics to being about pizza.
Oh, that's funny.
So like like he just doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do. Yeah, and like that should be the point ultimately of being like if you were going to put your kid in Home Alone and instantly make your child a megastar, the goal should be that later on in life he gets to kind of relive that childhood by just doing what he wants. And like that's now Macaulay Culkin's living like the longest childhood of like any person like on earth.
I still feel, but I don't think he wants to. But I still feel like Macaulay Culkin, some studio could put behind him like a really serious drama and Oscar bait him into an Oscar.
I almost think that his brother is fucking that up for him because Kieran has become such a good legitimate actor that like I don't know that Macaulay has the space. He's in a show right now on Netflix.
Something. Is he?
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin's like in something right now.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And it's probably okay because he probably. I don't think that he would do something. No, that's what want to do.
I don't think if a studio came to him and they're like, "We're making Milk 2, and we want you to play Harvey Milk's son, who was also gay." And, I just don't think I've watched.
Did you just watch Milk or something?
No,
Why
no.
did that come to mind?
It just came, it felt. I think it's one of those movies that I think of as Oscar bait. Like,
sure, okay.
It was clearly this was like, hey, you want an Oscar? Play gay activists.
At what point do you think Sean Penn became CIA? Like, was it around that time? Because clearly, you know the whole El Chapo story, right?
Well, I know El Chapo's story. I don't know his connection to it.
To Sean Penn.
Yeah.
So that's how we've caught El Chapo the last time.
Yeah, that's right.
Was that he was supposed to go interview, he was going to do an interview with Sean Penn, and we used that to capture El Chapo. Which, like, what a great bait. It really kind of makes El Chapo sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust Sean Penn. If a Sean Penn told us suddenly he was going to do an interview for Rob Loves Arguing,
I'd be like, what's happening?
Yeah, something. What did we do, and what
did I say on the show that is causing Sean Penn and the CIA to want to come down here?
Yeah, you know why I think that is believable? It's not just that moment. It was, I remember years ago, and this brings into current politics, because, you know, the whole Venezuela thing and Maduro. But prior to Maduro, I think two prior, but still, before Maduro, there was it was a Chavez, right?
Yeah.
He had spoke positively about him in public, and some Venezuelan actress was like, fuck him. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. That guy's like our oppressor. Like, why would he say? And I remember thinking, if she's this strong about it, why would Sean Penn come out and say, oh, he's a great guy and stuff, unless the CIA tells him to?
No, that's almost why, that's probably almost the moment where they had to wrangle Sean Penn.
Oh.
So this is the thing you got to understand. You meet Venezuelans who live here, right? This is what I've always had to explain to people about Hugo Chavez. You meet the Venezuelans who left because they had too much money and they didn't want to be a part of what Hugo Chavez was going to do, so they took off to whatever. Probably the case with a lot of these South American countries, maybe even yours included. No, the people of Venezuela liked Hugo Chavez. Like, the rich people didn't like him. But life in Venezuela, like, that was one of those cases where Hugo Chavez is more of a Gaddafi figure, where if you, like, talk to actual, like, poor people, which is the majority of people in Venezuela, like, that's what you kind of forget is that,
right,
you know, most people in Venezuela
are dumb sometimes.
Yeah, but poor people also, but are they? Like, I actually don't know that necessarily to be true.
And I'm not saying all poor people are dumb. I'm saying if you give me a country, you say, oh, and the poor people really supported this person. It's okay. It's not that I think they're dumb. It's that the devil comes to you. And
listen, that's what people would argue about Trump ultimately, right?
Right.
Is that it was stupid people that voted for that ultimately. But what were the grounds? I think that a lot of times that's the system kind of doing its job, you know, like, because, like, okay, so what were the things that got Trump elected ultimately, right? Immigration.
Yeah.
Is immigration not absolutely insanely out of control? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, even as a guy who's pretty pro-immigration, was that not whatever? You could say, okay, so stupid people believed in QAnon. But, like, ultimately, at the end of the day, how wrong was QAnon? I mean, like, obviously JFK Jr. wasn't going to come back from the dead and, like, run with Trump. But, like, they were fucking the kids. All the celebrities were involved in all, like,
give me a quick reminder, because I mix this up all the time. Mm-hmm. Is QAnon the left-wing one or the right-wing one?
It's the right-wing one.
The right-wing one.
I'm not even entirely sure what the left Antifa? Is that what you want? Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
All right. No, QAnon was more conspiracy theory, whatever. But ultimately, like a lot of conspiracy theory, when we look back on it, we go like, oh, they're actually just right about a bunch of stuff just in the moment we thought they were kooky. And, like, it got kooky, but this entire world is meant to, like, break your fucking sanity at this point. Like, we've never been more gaslit by the world. We are in a post them even trying to, like, make it a believable lie anymore era, you know, like, they don't really care that much about whether or not we believe them. It's just what we can prove, you know, like, it used to matter to them, whoever we want them to be, that, like, it was a believable enough story that we would all live day to day and just kind of accept it. But now they don't even really care if we like this Epstein note that's come out this week, right? Where the guy's like, oh, I found his suicide note in a fucking graphic novel that was in the jail cell. Does anyone give a shit if that's real? Do any of us bother? Is that like just the most obvious huge lie that's ever been told? And we just all like, you just didn't tell us about his suicide note for the last 4 years when like literally the entirety of society has been focused on this one thing with Epstein, and you just oopsie doopsed suicide note for 4 years. Like, but it doesn't matter. Like nobody cares. It doesn't. They don't have any desire anymore to even get us to believe them.
Maybe it was more of a pivot though on their part, where I'm thinking where it's like back in the day. I think of just like how Jack the Ripper was never caught. The reason Jack the Ripper was never caught is because we did not have the technology at the time to catch Jack the Ripper. Based on how he went about his stuff, they've pretty much most people agree we would have caught Jack the Ripper like that. Like it's pretty easy.
I don't believe there is a Jack the Ripper.
Oh, that's interesting.
I believe Jack the Ripper was a very convenient way for a lot of men to rape and kill people and then go, oh, the Ripper got her. Like, I think the Ripper was just everyone. And it was just very, if you were a guy who wanted to rape and murder at the time, and you start seeing stories about Jack the Ripper,
right?
Whatever, you're not going to go about it the exact same way that apparently Jack the Ripper goes about it, so that you can just add to the we don't know who's doing this. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like if we took what's still, I assume, still going on, although we kind of just brushed past this, is the disappearing Native American women thing.
Sure.
If we said, oh, actually, we think it's one serial killer. It probably isn't because it's happening in many different areas and stuff like that. But if we did that, we would all go, okay, that's better.
Oh, whew. Well, it's the same reaction we had when Miss Ivy's got shot the second time in a neighborhood. Is we were at least like, oh, well, at least it's just them getting shot.
Right.
Where it's like, if you don't have to feel like, oh, it's just like, oh, there's that one guy. We just got to catch that guy and this whole rape and murder problem will be over. Like, that's a much more comforting thing to deal with than like, yeah, a lot of guys rape and murder. Just
people, it is to psychopaths fun to rape and murder.
Yeah. So like
some more inconvenient truth.
Yeah. So that's yeah, exactly. Like, well, it's the same thing they said with Freud with Oedipus complex, right? Freud didn't believe in Oedipus complex.
What?
Freud was pressured into Oedipus complex early in his career
by a guy with a hot mom.
No, by dads who like to rape their daughters.
Oh,
and so the idea was Push's idea that these daughters are just insatiable for dad cock. And it's just, what can you even do? They want it so bad, and they just want to kill their moms that we can't help but bang them. And so they pushed that on Freud. And later on, if you read Freud later on in his life, he like repents on the entire thing. So he basically was just like coke fueled fucking like, oh yeah, they whatever, and that there's no validity to that idea.
That's also kind of funny that like it's funny how I really am a big believer in like the telephone game, you say banana and then by the end we're like, oh shit, apple or something like that.
Erica Kirk killed Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Is the whole Oedipus complex or whatever in nowadays pop culture is much more described as guys who want to fuck their moms and kill their dads. Like there's that
flip. It's supposed to be either or.
But that's my point is that if you asked anyone, oh, what's that? They would always nowadays describe it as, oh, that's like a guy who wants to sleep with his mom because of the Odyssey and
Well, I also just think that like it's a sillier thing to us. There's just something sort of silly about a fella banging his mom.
Yeah, less creepy, more.
It doesn't feel predatory for some reason. It feels sophomoric.
Yeah.
It's like a guy fucks his mom. You're like, you just don't grow up, huh? Yeah. You just can't get off the tit banging your mom in your 30s. Like, there is something less diabolical. And for whatever reason, I guess the same way you were saying earlier, when it's a female teacher, it just... Yeah, you just don't feel the same level of predatory about the mom for whatever reason.
No.
Like, you just kind of look at her like, oh, that kooky bitch just can't let her son alone, huh?
Yeah. What a crazy woman. I would never. That's how we react to, like, female predators is we go, I would never do that.
Yeah. So, like, it's, just like the fucking, the J.P. Morgan lady with the cannons. You didn't
no, I don't want to know that.
Oh, you don't know the story? Oh, this is fun. I didn't really want to cover this because it's been too podcast fodder.
Yeah.
There was a female executive at J.P. Morgan Chase that was forcing her like underling to cheat on his wife, and so they released a bunch of the same thing you were saying, just all these text messages.
Horrible bosses.
Yeah, kind of. I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And just the one text that's gone kind of wild was, "I bet your fish head wife doesn't have cannons like these."
That's great.
It's pretty awesome. So.
That's great. That's so mean. That's so mean.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's just this is going to happen. Like it was never men. It was never just that we're a problem. It's just power. So, like, ultimately, as now power in society shifts,
yes,
and more women become leaders of Fortune 500 companies, and the perverse incentives lead in their direction. Now they're going to start showing their cannons off to you without your fish head wife around.
I have a weird thing going on in my head lately. I never told you this, but I'm like, it's Rob loves arguing. I want to get you in front of some people who vehemently disagree with you. That's my new idea that I want. But I was like, I disagree with some of the stuff. Maybe I should speak up more often. Sure. And I was thinking this recently, right? Okay. I couldn't more wholeheartedly agree with what you just said.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I was at my fridge because I had listened to that. It's a story. People who don't know, there's a story out there. Look it up. Mayor sex teen. She has sex with a teen at a party that she threw for her son, and her son saw her do it. And it's hilarious.
She got everybody drunk at the party. Basically, I mean, it sounds like she got them drunk.
Right? She allowed drinking at a party. And then she made out with a boy, and then took him upstairs and had sex with him, and her daughter and her nephew and her son all saw it happen. And then she said, "Oh, you should be mad at him. He slept with me." It's a hilarious story. Please look it up. But I was sitting there, I was listening to this, and I was in my kitchen having some milk, which is a weird, juxtaposition of
just cow milk.
Listen to mommies having sex with teens, and but I was like, I do believe women are going to get worse and worse over time. The more things have equalized, they're getting more and more power, everything like that. There's going to be more female serial killers, rapists, everything. It's going to be like, we're going to see the depraved versions of women grow.
And it'll take just as long because we won't be willing to do. I think this is a slightly different thing, but it's a Chappelle joke about man rape from back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was like 8 people had come out that there's a guy that had, speaking of serial killers and rapists again, there was like a serial rapist in LA, and 8 guys had come forward that they had been raped by this guy, which means there must be thousands. You know what I mean? Because we're just not going to come forward with something like that. Unless it's made up and we need attention. So we're going to find a lot of that in the next little while. And whatever, it will be interesting to swing that way because it is going to be a lot more underlings that are sick. The show last night, there was a Ukrainian couple at the 11 p.m. and it was a bank teller and his boss that were banging. Boss at the bank that was a chick. And it was just like, all right.
Yeah. No, I love it though. I love it. Not the crime versions, but just
not the crime version.
Yeah,
that's technically all a crime. You're not, so you can't really bang.
You're right.
We have created a society where you can't bang your boss, basically.
And I don't like that.
It does feel like you're taking a part of aspirationalness away,
Yeah, and it's also just I believe in if there's a chance to have some fun to get, it's none of our.
Well, it's also just people do have a tendency to meet in workplaces and shit. That's not crazy uncommon. Similar lifestyles and whatever. So I don't even think it's necessarily that. I mean, it's just you're kind of just creating a situation now where you're well, you better banging this guy because you can't fire him now.
Right.
That's kind of where the problem lies. Is that
Although I'm going to dial this back and redecide. I'm disagreeing with that.
Okay.
One, because technically I'm in HR, so I should have. But no, it's that I hate when people tell their story of them having sex with someone or getting in a relationship with someone, and they make it sound like there was never a choice, it just happened, And I'm like, there's a million people to fuck. It didn't just happen. You chose.
Yeah. And listen, there are like levels to that. People stay for whatever, but like, you know, getting into the initial.
I'm talking about getting into the initial. Staying in a relationship too long. That happens to everyone. You don't want to leave. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you're there at home. Maybe you're talking to your girlfriend or we're talking about guys this time. You're talking to your male friend and you're like, fuck, I think I can fuck my boss. I think she's down with it. I think she could. You're deciding in that. You're not, and there's probably a million girls at the bar that you're hanging out with your friend.
You could phrase the way that conversation is going differently. You could frame the conversation the same way as, dude, I don't know. My boss is trying to fucking bang me and I don't really know what to do. You know what I mean? Like there's a different way of...
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair reframing.
Yeah, there's a pressure.
You still go, oh, I won't though.
No, men feel this pressure just the same way. I'll push back on that. There are plenty of guys. Listen, man, it's a hard world.
There's not a lot of jobs out there.
Hard fucking world, and it's only getting harder. Like that's like pretty much everything is put in place simply through the mechanism of that they've made life too difficult to fight back in any way. You know, and that hits us in every... Listen, how many episodes have we talked about my ticket experience so far?
Yeah.
Like, again, most normal people can't just go through that process. Like, there's too many days off work. There's too much time dedicated to it. There's too much risk involved in not winning it after all of that. You just can't do it. So, like, there's a lot of people that, you know, like... what if Charlie Paradise... had a chance to sleep with a... No, I shouldn't. Okay, let's try not to bring him up right now.
Neil Galani.
But Neil's money, so Neil's an opportunity. You know, it's somebody that, like, it really is, like, if you're living on the fucking edge, I mean, how many things because then you're doing a cost analysis benefit. Well, let's use people who, in the comedy community, who have maybe slept with an older female that's around... for like a place to stay because they're having a hard time.
Let's throw out Jamie Villeneuve just as a
possible example. You know what I mean?
Randomly picked.
Jamie's got to look at the costs benefit analysis there. Okay, Jamie probably doesn't want to have sex with his at the time elderly woman, right? But what does he have to do in that situation to not have sex with her? Well, he's going to have to find a job. He's going to have to try to keep that job.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get someone to rent him the place in the first place, like to meet him and go, that's an acceptable human being that I would trust around other, because let's be honest, he's not renting us a place by himself. So he's then got to live with these roommates that he's got to accept, and he's got to whatever. At what point does enough stuff get piled on before you're like, I should probably just bang this old lady?
Right. But it's
still a choice. 400 years of slavery is a choice. You know what I mean? Like I believe that Kanye was correct. Everything's a choice.
I realize I'm not that he needs my forgiveness. It's not my forgiveness or anything, but I'm not forgiving him for like whatever. But it took time for me to realize what he meant is he meant you could die. That's also a choice.
It's a choice.
Now, it's not a good choice, but technically it's a choice in that
they might kill your family. It might not even just be you. They might kill you. They might kill your wife and your kids. It's still a choice.
It's still,
And ultimately, enough people have to make the Kanye choice. Not everybody, but enough people have to make that Kanye choice for anything to move forward. Right. Like that is just part of it's Canada or America. We got our independence slowly through just fucking kind of not mattering enough for them to eventually just go, fine, be your own thing. You're kind of a hassle. Or you can fight for your independence. And it's kind of the difference, right?
Canada got their independence similarly to how I moved out.
You threw a bunch of tea in the lake?
Well, no, no. That's a Boston P. I said Canada.
Oh, Canada.
I'm Canada in this situation.
Yeah.
You're probably, if I had to guess, more of an America. You know.
Yeah, fight for
blaze of glory at 18. Yeah. You know, I was in my 30s and I just vaguely mentioned it enough so that when I finally moved out, my parents are like, "Yeah, all right, go. You're 30." Go.
I was 18. I got kind of kicked out for a bit. Lived in a boxing gym for a couple days. Bounced around to some friends' houses and shit. Then
this feels like a movie. I'm gonna a movie about this. Steal your story.
Sure.
And you'll realize it 10 years from now. You're like,
Where, you're going to Van Wilder me.
Yeah, and who stars in it? Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
That's his Oscar bait.
The Rob Mayhew story. No, I moved out. The first place I moved into upstairs unit, kind of by the university. I answered this ad in the paper because it was still, that's how you rented it. It was still like little fucking things in the back of the newspaper.
Yeah.
And so I called the guy. It's $250 a month. And, which was like kind of normal.
Steal.
Yeah, kind of normal at that time. And so he's like, okay, you come on over, check the place out. He's like, I'll leave the door unlocked. Just come on in. And I didn't take that as a red flag at all.
Yeah. It's great.
So me and my friend Ian get there, go in, and we go into the door, and there stands the oldest woman alive at the time.
Yeah.
Like just 147-year-old dinosaur with these two big recliners, but they were like on springs that would like clearly for like mobility issues.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Like move you forward or whatever. And so we're like, where is, hi, I'm here to meet Hugh, was his name. And she pointed to where he was, but her arthritis in her hand was so bad. It was like a tree branch.
That's great. Yeah.
Where it was just like she was pointing in every direction at the same time. So we just kind of followed her arm or whatever. And we turn a corner, and like out of King Kong, where you kind of catch King Kong the first time in the horizon, like the big dramatic scene, we turn a corner, and there is a 600-pound bedridden man laying there that's like, oh, I'm over here, boys, or whatever. So we go, we meet Uncle Hugh. We was already calling him Uncle Hugh by that point. And
okay.
And so whatever, we go, we see the unit. It's like 2 rooms. It's like a bedroom, and it'd have like a secondary space.
Okay.
Upstairs, totally fine. Like a little cleaning to do, but wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, cool, I'll take it, whatever. And so like a couple of days later, we like move my stuff in. We're cleaning it all up, and we go for a walk to like walk around the neighborhood, because I was like a suburb kid at the time. So I was the first person in our friend group to like live in Windsor proper in the city.
Okay, gotcha.
And so we went to go for this walk, and Hugh. So moving me in, it was me, my girlfriend at the time, Ian's girlfriend at the time, and our friend Tyler, and so everybody had left, and it was just me and Ian. And we go for a walk, and Uncle Hugh calls us into his room, and he's like, hey, you don't got any girls up there, do you? And we're like, no, you're good or whatever. All right. And we're like, he's like, all right, because I don't want to get a reputation. And we were like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So we left, and like we're walking, and because we thought he was joking at first.
Yeah.
And we kind of thought about it for a bit, and we're like, has he been serious about there not being any...
I don't even understand what he means. A reputation for what?
So,
throwing parties, I guess?
So we went back and we asked him whatever, and he was just like, well, I can't have girls coming in and out of here or whatever. We realized he's a 600-pound bedridden man, so he's afraid that if he has girls coming in, people are going to think he's getting hookers. So, yeah. And I'm like, sir, you're already a 600-pound bedridden man. I don't think you have a great reputation to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone in the neighborhood's going to be like, oh, fucking Hugh's getting hooked. They're going to be like, there's his nurse. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be like, oh, someone's got to clean his bedpan. And he was full, like peeing into a bucket. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. He was 600. Like, I'm not exact. He's not just a fat guy. Like, he was like a bedridden
Did you have to do things for him while you lived there?
So he tells me that, and he explains. He's like, yeah, so you can't have any girls. And he's like, I have a girlfriend. I'm 18. I'm moving out for the first time. I'm certainly not looking to have that rule over my head. So over the next 2 days, I never went back. I ended up staying at Ian's house another couple days.
Yeah.
I canceled the checks that I had given him, and we went back after 2 days. And he called. I walk in, and he's like, "Oh, there you are. You're the quietest tenant I've ever had." He had no idea I wasn't living there. And so I was just like, "Hey, man, I can't. Whatever." Moved our stuff out. He wasn't going to give me the money back, and but he didn't realize I'd already canceled the check. So,
okay.
It was nice to know he was going to be a dick about it, though, because I didn't feel as bad.
Sure.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, that was the second lease I ever signed. The first lease I signed, I didn't end up moving out. It was me and Ian again, but we signed for an apartment in the suburb we lived in LaSalle, which would have been a huge mistake because I would have been completely isolated. He didn't even have a job. We signed a lease for a place where the idea was just going to be, because I was just selling weed, and he wasn't working at all, but I had enough where I was like, okay, we can, whatever. He was kind of a rich kid, so he probably would have been fine to pay half rent, whatever at the time. But then our idea was we just have parties, and everyone would bring food to the parties, and we could live off the food from the parties. That was literally what we had in mind.
This started as like a drama that I want to, but I'm going to write your story more as like a comedy that hasn't been popular since the early 2000s. Like
I always wanted to write a super bad-ish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, so that story, so we go and we sign this lease, and so we sign it and we drive away, and we're 10 minutes away before we're like, that was a mistake. That was the wrong thing to do. We shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. So we drive back to the guy's house, and we're like, hey, man, we're really sorry, but like, we just thought about it. Now it's stupid. We shouldn't have done 10 minutes. We're talking, right?
Yeah. What a bunch of teases you two are.
Yeah. I know. Just going around fucking faking out.
Signing leases and then changing your mind.
Yeah. So the guy's like, well, listen, I got to keep your first and last, like you, whatever. And we were at his house.
Yeah.
So then I was just like, I was pretty thuggish at the time, we'll say. So we just went, okay, well, I know where you live, right? So it's like, it's not going to be worth the money you're keeping from us for us to know where you live.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. And he went and grabbed the cash and gave it right back to us.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. We threatened an old man. We were living very well.
That one I'll side with you. 10 minutes.
Like, and we're kids. Well, first of all, I don't even think Ian would have been legally allowed to sign a document at the time anyways. Yeah. So it would have probably had to only have been my legal signature on the piece of paper anyways. So, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, Hulk Hogan had to drive around and watch his wife bang his... I feel like we all tangented off of...
Oh, yeah.
Because it was the Mike Tyson... The Mike Tyson story was... he got home and his wife, who I guess he had raped... was on a date, was coming back from a date with Brad Pitt. Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
He was like, she's out with a waiter or whatever, and Brad Pitt's in his driveway or whatever. That's the difference between, as much as I love wrestling, the validity between boxing and wrestling right there is Mike Tyson, like how scared shitless Brad Pitt is in that moment. Whereas Linda Hogan's new boy toy is just waving at Hulk as he drives around in a fucking jet ski because he's like, what's this old man going to come fucking do? Drop a leg drop on me? Like, he's not going to do shit. So, yeah, he just got to be humiliated for like the last half of his life.
Yeah, there's a sadness there. I listened to an interview with Kevin Nash because Kevin Nash has a podcast. He just talks all the time, right? And he talked about how fair that documentary was, but also how sad it was for him to watch. And it's true, if you like Hulk Hogan, it's a sad end. Like the first two, you're like, oh, look at my great friend, great.
Yeah.
And then the last two are like,
yeah, this got tough.
Yeah.
Well, Hulk Hogan truly is the story of America. You know what I mean? Like, you could look at the arc of America through Hulk Hogan's life. 70s, whatever, rising up. 80s is when Hulk Hogan is the good guy of good guys in marketing, right? Captain America, defeating Iron Sheik, defeating whatever. But if you actually have you ever watched the Karate Kid thing where it's the whole explanation of how Daniel LaRusso is actually the bad guy the entire time? Kind of the impetus for Cobra Kai,
Sure,
I'd say.
Yep.
You could do the same thing with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was the cheater through the entirety of Hulkamania. He used chairs. He did underhanded things. WrestleMania 9, he beats an opponent who already had to face Bret Hart after a main event match. And then whatever.
Yeah.
Everything Hulk Hogan did through the entirety of the 80s was the bad guy move, but we just told you he was the good guy the entire time.
And that's all we needed.
Same with America. the entire time America through the 80s is supposed to be this fucking good guy. But entire time we're doing Iran-Contra, we're smuggling crack and fucking whatever in through the Nicaragua. We're killing South American leaders. We're funding the Mujahideen to fight fucking the Russians, which eventually leads to Osama bin Laden. Like, while we're supposed to be the goodest of good guys at that time, America, it's actually being the bad guy the entire time. The 90s come. They're still trying to do the same song and dance. But it's getting a little tired by this point. People are starting to kind of catch on that maybe this isn't as like, we're a little stale with we're fucking the heroes. And so eventually they just got to turn full heel and just turn into a bad guy and just start doing whatever they want. And then in a way, it's almost kind of when they were like in the best they were was when they were actually a bad guy, because at least they were being kind of honest about who they were for a period of time. And then it says the N-word and has a sex tape. And that's kind of America. Right. You know what I mean? Like, the fall is the N-word and pulling out of your friend's wife.
Cuckolding.
And going, oof, I shouldn't have had so much buffet.
I forgot about that.
Is there anything more American than on a singular tape having sex with your best friend's wife and then saying you would have done a better job had you not just previously gorged yourself on buffet?
And a sizzler.
And then later saying, I don't mind if my daughter dates a black guy, but no N-words. I mean, that's about as American as it gets.
Yeah.
That's apple pie. You know what I mean? Your best friend's wife and the N-word is the new apple pie.
It's really funny. I love weird racism or whatever, because if you take it, even that line, you take it to even, what was his name? Donald
Sterling.
Yeah. And don't date black guys.
It's like, you can fuck them, but
people.
could you just fuck them quietly, please, behind closed doors?
Side. Yeah.
Like, you got to do it in front of everybody, whatever. Like, that is the progression of race relationships in America, is that we've at least got to where the idea of being racist is like, hey, man, could you just like kind of chill
keep
a little?
It on the down low.
Yeah. Or with Hulk Hogan, they're like, I don't care if she dates like black guys, but does it have to be fucking Jamal? You know what I mean? Like,
He wanted a well-to-do.
Yeah. Also, like, let's keep in mind what like Hulk Hogan watched a lot of in his life. You know what I mean? Like, Hulk Hogan's example of like a black guy was the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, Junkyard Dog used to do crack before he went to the ring.
That's hilarious. I did not know that.
He was a full crackhead.
Yeah.
Virgil, not exactly the most upstanding gentleman, although I heard a huge piece. Apparently Virgil just had a massive dong on him, but
I just know Virgil more from his appearances at whatever Comic-Con. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you my Virgil story?
I think so. I can't remember.
After I worked with Mick Foley, Mankind from wrestling, a lot of wrestlers started trying to work with me to like, they saw the comedy space as like an opportunity. And so I started having, like, I had a phone call with Raven.
Oh, yeah.
Raven and me talked one day. I had to call Raven, and I called him, and I was like, hey, what do I call you? Do I call you Scotty? Do I call you Raven?
Yeah.
And he was like, call me Raven. And I was like, all right, man. I guess I got to call you Raven now. But the Jewish Mafia, the Megan Boys, they had Virgil doing some like JCC wrestling show up Bathurst, and Virgil wanted to get into the one-man show game with everybody else. Like, Jake the Snake had done it. Ted DiBiase was doing it.
Yeah,
Mick was the first one. What?
That's Jake the Snake and Ted DiBiase.
But Virgil, so I go and I talk to Virgil, and he just keeps going, yeah, so my buddy Eddie will open for me, and we'll do this, and then Eddie will be whatever. And so eventually I had to just be like, who's Eddie? Like, who's the Eddie you keep talking about? And he's like, I'm retarded. He looks at me and goes, Eddie Murphy. And so, Virgil believed that Eddie Murphy was going to come out of retirement to open for him on his one-man show. So that was when I stopped working with Virgil, when I realized that Virgil's career is hilarious, because the reason that Virgil was named Virgil was because that was the real name of Dusty Rhodes. and Dusty Rhodes wouldn't come in to. Dusty Rhodes was the first pick to be Hulk Hogan, but he didn't want to do it. He didn't believe in the vision. So then Hulk Hogan gets picked, and so to spite Dusty, they name the $1 Million Man, who is supposed to obviously be Vince McMahon. They name his black manservant Virgil to make fun of Dusty.
Right.
Then Virgil later goes to WCW, where they name him Vincent to make fun of Vince McMahon. Oh. So his entire career, his name has just been like, hey, you're a piece of shit. Why don't we name you after that guy we hate? That was his whole career. So anyways, okay, we should end on on some of these videos. Also, by the way, I've had this bad boy sitting next to me the entire time. In case the episode got stale, I just wanted to have this. This might be one of the last remaining one of these in existence. Yucks would put these in bars. They are coin-operated joke machines. So I'm going to set this up on stage so that if the audience doesn't like the comedians, they can pay $1 and they get... It takes a second. No, it's pretty loud. It'll go. Don't worry.
Okay. It is.
It takes a... Derek... Oh.
You know what? It takes...
I needed that with it for some reason.
What did the juvenile delinquent get for Christmas? My bike! I just bought a new car, and it is something that'll last a lifetime. Monthly payments! My wife and I went to Spain for our honeymoon. We get to fly for free because of her job. She's a terrorist! What's the worst part about
There's
a man getting a sex change? The part where they lop off 32% of his salary.
That's a pretty progressive bit. Like that one, I feel like that joke can fly still today.
Why do I recognize the voice?
I think it's Lawrence Morgenstern. I'm not. I've been trying to figure out who the voice would be.
Yeah, I recognize.
It's going to be one of the OG guys.
Yeah,
it's not Larry. It's not Wilmot. It's not Brent Butt. Or Brent Butt would have been too big when this came out. Yeah, so it would have had to have been like an original Yucks guy who was down on his luck. You know what I mean? Like they didn't want him working the clubs, so they instead had him record this and gave him a paycheck for the year and told him to sit at home.
It's so hard to be cool because I'm looking at this and it says high voltage comedy.
Yeah, I described this to Tyler as a monument to putting your effort in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Where it's like they couldn't keep any of their clubs, they couldn't keep any of their roster, but they had this bad boy in the bathroom of a Boston Pizza or something. I would love that now they had to find like a new voice for this. It would just be Bankus.
Oh,
like if they had to find someone today, like who else could they pick other than Bank? And so the whole machine would just be like, well, Indians stink. It would just be a $1 for a racist machine that would be at home. It would just do like a Chinese accent and be like, I'm Olivia Chow, ching chong 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 chong. And then you're like, damn, I spent $1 and now I have to run out of this washroom and hope that nobody thinks that was me saying it at the end.
That's $1?
It's $1, yeah.
That was a lot back then.
Yeah, when this would have been like $1 was a fairly substantial investment in this. But yeah, so now I want to run a gong show here where when the audience doesn't like the comedian, they can just go up and put $1 in the machine.
Oh, that's funny.
And whatever. Okay, do we have time
for
this video? Let's just last video
12
is
minutes till an hour.
Yeah, okay, 12 minutes till an hour. Okay, perfect. So last night about 3:00, we got home around 1:30 last night. It wasn't like a crazy late night. And we'd gone to bed maybe about, I don't know, baby, what do you think, 20 minutes before this?
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah. I was out. You woke me up. You were still awake. I had like fallen completely asleep by that time. And so can we pull up the first video? Will that work? Or is it better just to maybe put it in afterwards and I'll just kind of describe it?
Well, both. We're gonna, I'm gonna play it off my phone.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Can you? I didn't listen to this as much as watch it. Is there audio that's?
So that's the thing is I kind of do. You can almost just maybe put it in at the end because I do just do play-by-play on it. But basically, what happens is we wake up and there's clearly been a melee. There's a fire truck. Mainly a fire truck, which was odd. We heard a weird noise, which we never did. get an explanation for. It wasn't gunfire, but like
Kennedy farted.
And that's what woke me up, and she blamed it on a fight.
Yeah, there's a fight outside. Yeah, wasn't me.
But it sounded like someone set off like a strip of firecrackers or something.
Oh, okay.
Like it had, and there was like a hazy kind of smoke in the air for a little bit. So like, I don't know whatever happened with that necessarily, but there's this group of like 5-6 guys. It's kind of hard to tell how many are with them, but they've clearly just gotten into an altercation with like a group of brown guys. And I did, based on their demeanor, they hadn't done well. It seems like as the videos go on, you get the impression that we talked about baby faces and heels. I believe the heels were the white folks in this story. They don't come off great later on, so I'm going to assume that this behavior was sort of an ongoing issue with them. And so the videos start sort of, one of the guys is kind of knocked out.
Yeah, I was seeing that. Yeah,
the guy in the white hat's completely knocked out.
He's sitting down. Yeah,
so he had been knocked out in the original fight very clearly. He was already kind of walking around hobbled, but he starts talking shit to. I described him as, I would say he was a black guy, but he was like a skid, which is not homeless, but like kind of intentionally sort of punk rock homeless. It was what I would call a skid. And like hang out a Kensington fella.
Sure. Yeah.
And so he's talking shit to that guy. And that guy couldn't be trying any harder to just leave this guy alone and not make it an issue. But then like a couple of them start kind of cornering the guy. And he throws like a real wild...
haymaker?
But real... I'm trying to remember the guy. He fought Bernard Hawkins when I was boxing. And he had a very unorthodox... style. I wanted to say like Musa or something. He didn't beat Bernard Hopkins, but he gave him a very good fight. And he had a very strange wingy punch that he would throw. And this guy threw like a very long-armed punch at the guy. And that's what I'm saying. He connected from like a good distance, but he did get him. Now, Kennedy thought the guy was faking. I think the guy did come down and just clock him the right way. Because the guy, this is the second time he's getting knocked out in the night. So, like, that's the one that's going to make him fucking kill his wife later in life. Because the first one doesn't give you a concussion. The second one gives you a concussion. So that was where that guy got really messed up. Another guy had been messed up. And then they just proceed to, as a collection, I believe 4 out of 6 of them got arrested out of the group, but never at the same time. One guy was getting arrested first, the guy that got knocked out bad. Then his friend, who I think what the cops, we tried to like eavesdrop as much as we could. I believe that guy maybe used a weapon in the fight with the brown guys, because we later saw one of the brown guys come back later and he was cut open on the back of his head. So I think that he maybe got bottled or something by that guy, because we never saw him do anything, but he was getting arrested. Then there was the antagonistic friend with the phone who was just going around talking shit to cops, like a real my dad's a lawyer energy about him the whole time. And so he's like, the whole time we're like, that kid's getting arrested for sure. Yeah. Like that guy's got to go home in handcuffs. And so he's talking shit. The one friend that gets knocked out, he stands up and he walks over to the group finally to like investigate what's going on now, because like 2 of his friends are getting arrested. And so whatever happens with him, he now is getting arrested.
That's so funny.
We got distracted briefly.
He's like me when I go to the bathroom while we're watching Netflix at home, and I'm like, I come out 10 minutes later, like, oh, what happened? I missed, what happened? Yeah. He's getting his catch up.
He's getting, because he was dealing with whatever had happened to him.
Concussion.
Briefly. Like he was not following anything that was happening over here with his friends. Yeah. He probably has no idea his friend got knocked out a second time. He probably thinks that guy's still dealing with the first time getting knocked out, and now he's got knocked out a whole fresh new time. And so he comes over to investigate. He ends up arrested. So now there's 3 of them getting arrested. And then while that's going on, and it's all the phone guy's fault. Everyone would have just been fine to sit down and shut the fuck up, and the 2 of them would have got arrested and it would have been fine. He's amping everyone out in his group up, right? So now a 3rd guy who's standing with them, who I actually thought was the chubbier guy getting arrested, whatever, he comes up and he's for no reason, like completely unprovoked, turns around and sees the cop's bike there and just goes, man, fuck your bike, and just pushes the bike down. They rough him up pretty bad. He's now getting arrested. So they're going whatever so they've got that guy getting arrested, this guy getting arrested, this guy getting arrested.
They were on like all corners.
Like a perfect, like everything, just all the whatever. There was a sixth guy that appeared to be part of their crew who is now, so I didn't see the third guy start getting arrested because there was a homeless lady who took her shirt off in front of Future.
Sexy.
So that, not at all, but it took our attention briefly. She did seem like she was working. When I went back and watched the video, she had high heels on. She was probably working.
Yeah.
But so she gets into it. She's starting to get into an altercation with the sixth member of this group who has maintained distance the entire time. But he's just chirping a fucking homeless lady. So people are passing him. And I can't believe like the shit that people just being like, shut the fuck up, like telling this guy off. Like this is the most hated group of people you've ever seen just go out for an evening. I say in the video, it was like they were in like a frat challenge to see if they could all get arrested. Like how can we all manage to get arrested in one night to whatever. And so that guy, whatever. And then so 4 out of 6 of them get arrested. The one guy chirping the homeless lady, he ends up being fine. And also like I've just never seen people just see all your friends get arrested and just smoke, like just not like this is not the first or last time this has happened.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right, it's one of those nights.
Yeah.
He's probably double in his head calculating how much bail money he has. You know, it's that kind of thing.
The World Cup is coming, and let me wrap this episode because we'll play the video and I can make up a little bit of that time there. But we have a show coming in. The World Cup is going to be hilarious. Like we are so woefully unprepared for this situation. I'm a prideful Toronto guy. I don't take any pleasure. And I'm not a six buzz conservative. Like I'm not a guy who likes going, oh, Toronto's in disrepair. But Toronto's in fucking disrepair right now.
Yeah.
Like we're in a really funky bad spot. Like the homelessness is as bad as it's ever been, as far as I can tell. I wasn't alive during the crack epidemic, but I don't know if that was us.
Sure.
You know,
at least in the recent history.
Yeah. In our recent history, this is about as bad as it's been. The roads are fucked. Even just putting those stupid red lines on Bathurst, you're doing the entirety of the events in the city at the Bentway, right? Between the Bentway and where the Toronto FC play, and you've reduced it to one lane, where it's a disaster. Anyways, all right, people are coming for the show. I got to wrap this up.
Yep.
Thank you very much, guys. Rob Blaze arguing. Goodbye. Peace.
This feels too late to start, but this fella on the ground here who's now in handcuffs has been beat up twice in about the last 25 minutes. He got beat up. There was like some sort of larger fight. These two guys were involved. They didn't do good. I think there's probably a guy crouching over here somewhere still that he seemed to have got rocked. I don't know what the fuck the fire had to do with any of this exactly, but they were marching around for a bit. This fucking old white lady, she's getting an Uber. She had maybe something to do with it. But anyways, this guy keeps picking fights and getting rocked, and now he's in handcuffs, and now watching him cross these fucking minutes. Like this whole group, and there's a couple of them missing, but they've just spent the last hour getting their ass kicked. This has been pandemonium. Did they arrest another one of his friends? That guy got himself arrested now.